Now, the Bible says that, and the Bible is wrong about one thing, it's wrong about everything. But he says, from one blood, he has made all nations of men. And when he used the word men, it was men and women. It wasn't a gender man. It was mankind. And he put us where he wanted us to be. And somehow we did like Sarah and Abraham. We were wandering off to do things that we were told not to do. And then we even had some of Moses' ideas. God told him that he was going to give him and Sarah a child, even in their old age. And somehow they decided among themselves that God can't do that. That can't be done. So what we're going to do is we're going to devise some kind of method. We have a maid here. Sarah had a maid. And she told her husband, Abraham, you sleep with the maid, and when she conceives, we'll claim the baby. It'll be our baby anyway. But anytime you really disobey God, I'm talking about disobeying him from what he tells us to do, not me, but us. When the baby came, even though it was Sarah's maid, and she told her to do this, she told Hannah to do this, she got mad and got jealous and told Abraham to put that woman out. Now, I don't want her around here no more. You see, when you go against God's commandments, you're always trying to put something else in there as a stopgap measure. And when she told Abram to put that maid out, Abram wasn't willing to do that. Now, I'm going to get back here about in the blood in a minute. He wasn't willing to do that, but he was married to Sarah, and he was trying to keep peace in the home. Wow. So he put her out. And you know, if any of us, it wouldn't matter if we're a man or a woman, if we were put out in the desert with nothing but a goat skin of water, that was a little skin they used to carry water in, and goat skin of water, and that's all we had, we would start praying, asking for something. Yes. Hannah didn't really know how to pray to the one God faction, so she just started praying. And she remembered that she had heard that El Roi was a name that she had heard that could supply all of our needs. So she cried out, El Roi, come and see about my child and me. We have children now that's in all kinds of things that they shouldn't be into. We need to learn how to pray. We need to learn how to call on him to get results. Simply because someone sounds good don't mean they're praying. Simply because they're connecting all the words together, that doesn't mean they're praying. Prayer comes from the sincerity of the heart. You got to be sincere. And when she asked God to come and see about her and her son, and God sent the angel to see about her,
Yes.
Gave them some water, and gave them a way out of the desert. And you might not know it, but they're still fighting that war with that day. They're there. Ashmael, Isaac, still fighting about who God's children is. Have nothing to do with what your name is. It's in the blood. From one blood, he made all mankind. See, we mess things up when we start telling people that I'm better than you, or I know someone better than you. Just be who you are and worship him in gladness, and he will show you who you are. We're not better than anybody because of how we dress, what kind of car we drive in, or what kind of house we live in. It's good to live in a nice house. It's good to have nice clothes. It's just good to enjoy the fruits of your labor. But the same God that gives them to you, he can take it away. And you see, he doesn't have to come down and put his hands on you. He can take it away by every time you think you got something worked out, something else will happen. All I'm saying is, don't get too happy before it's time. Now you need to be happy. You need to be happy in the Lord, because he wants us to be happy. He doesn't want us going around sad all the time, looking like we're carrying a weight on our shoulder. He fixed it so we can be happy. But according to the Bible here, he said he made of one blood all nation of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and had determined the time before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. See, sometimes we don't think about the bounds of our habitation. America did not think about the bounds of their habitation. They put together wars, rumors of war, and big guns to come and take things away from the people who dwelled here first. And now it seems like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just talking about how it seems. It seems like they're going to lose some of this. And sometimes when people feel that they're going to lose something that they want, they will start a war with anybody, anywhere. But we don't need to be getting mad at each other. The scripture says, and he determined the bounds of their habitation. Habitation means where you stay. It's all in my hand. And I'm not talking about it with Hightower's hand. It's all in God's hand. And listen, we ought to start praying like the old church used to pray. Our young children don't pray like that because they haven't heard. But I remember when those old people used to get on their knees and say, Lord, you promised me, if I pray and pray right, you would hear and answer prayer. I don't guess anybody ever heard that before. But listen, prayer moves mountains. And blood keeps the family together. When God had sent his son down to redeem the world from lost to salvation, people were around talking about, this man can't die for me. He's crazy. But I love that song when they said, one drop of his blood washed me whiter than snow. It don't take that much One drop of his blood saved me from eternal damnation. One drop of his blood bring me into the realization that God is real. That God died to save the world from damnation. And listen, let me tell you something. When we start arguing with God, think about this now. Telling God he doesn't know what he's done. He's never done it before, but he can do it. Suppose he tell you, I'm not going to let the sun shine tomorrow. I know you don't always see it, but if that sun stay gone too long, you'll freeze to death. Suppose he said, I'm not going to let the moon rise. If the moon stay gone too long, listen, you'll burn up. Wow. But God have all of that set in his own time to happen. And we need to teach our children all of our days to love and respect God and what God has set before us to do. And I know and you know, we both know that when we talk to young people about these things, they don't really grasp it like we do. That's all right. We didn't always grasp it. Our foreparents tried to get us to do things, and it worried them sometimes to their sick bed, trying to get us to do things that they thought we ought to do. Some of us walked away. I did. When I got hungry, I came back.
All right, say
that. But God is able.
Yes.
And if we put it all in his hand, we don't need to be running back, getting it, trying to fix it ourselves.
Right.
If you think you can fix it better than God, don't give it to him in the first place. See, God is a jealous God. He doesn't like this in and out worship. Doing what I want to do. Doing what you want to do. You know, they have this blood transfusion. And that's a good thing. People's lives have been saved because of transfusion. But those men and women that go and perform those transfusions, they have been taught how to do it. Now, all of them might not be saints. They might not be, I don't know. But one thing I do know. I visit hospitals 2 or 3 times every week. And I see these young people, more young people than old now. Got needles in them, getting blood transfusion. And what I'm trying to tell us today is, Mama Ryan, we need a blood transfusion. We need a blood transfusion that will cause us to come running to God saying, what must I do to be saved? You don't know how to save yourself. I don't know how to save myself. But if we will go to him who is able, put it in his hand. Listen, he won't let any of it fall. He knows what to do with it. He knows when to do it. He knows how to do it. And he knows why he's doing it. So we need to put it in his hand and leave it there. I used to hear another song where they used to sing, take your burden to the Lord. Anybody ever hear that one? Take your burden to the Lord and leave them there. If you're going to keep running back, picking them up, don't take them to them in the first place. You see, we get all mixed up. God, you ain't moving fast enough for me. That's what happened to Abraham and Sarah.
Yes.
They wanted a boy child. And she kept saying, I know what you said, Lord, but you ain't moving fast enough for me. So I'm going to put my maid in there. And now they are still, I don't know how many years, but they're still fighting those wars. Because they disobeyed God. It's a bad thing to disobey God. And I'm not saying we shouldn't laugh and talk and play, and with God want us to be happy. But God does not want us to play with him. Seems that I can hear God of the old church saying to us even unto the day, be still and don't play with me. Don't play with me and know you that I'm still God. Don't play with me because I'll rise up against you. I'll break the backbone of your power. We're becoming broken down every day. And we still think we can make it. But Jesus paid it all. Some of us might not believe that. But Jesus paid it all. And all to him. I don't know about you. But all to him I owe. Sin had left a crimson stain. But he washed me whiter than snow. Listen, he washed me. And he don't miss those spots. He don't have to order up a big tub. All he has to do is say, you wash. And God is ready to wash us. He's ready to relieve us. And whatever the problem is, God is able. And the song says, he might not come when you want, but he's right on time. He was on time when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego was standing at the fire furnace. He was on time. He let them see where they was going and then he pulled them back. He was on time when Moses was going across the Red Sea. He was on time because he told Moses, stretch out your reed, walk across on dry land. He was on time when John the Baptist was in the cellar and Herod was fixing to cut his head off. And God said, you got to give it up. And he said, I must decrease so God can increase. He's on time. He was on time going to the cross. He made his way up to the cross and hung out there for you and me. He died, I tell you. He died all the way dead. But I'm so glad he didn't stay dead. Sunday morning, he got up. He said, all power is in my hand. But he didn't say it just like that. All power in heaven and in earth is in my hand. And I'll put it where I will. God still has all the power. But we need to give it to him. Give it to him. Don't be afraid to give it to him. Let him rule our life. I may be someone